Life lessons I wished my younger self would have known. Tough lessons and patterns of my own behavior I'm going to share with you today around relationships, health, money, career, and my journey of self discovery. At the end, I'm going to share with you how to trust your own intuition and stay true to yourself so that you don't have some of those hard lessons that I went through. But let's begin. I'm Georgie Holbrook. For 30 years, I have taught others how to avoid those tough lessons, how to self heal themselves. I'm an emotional wellness mentor, but I'm a holistic teacher. Link below if you want to find out more about me. My family and your family shaped our lives and decisions as young people. At least this is my story. First, my pattern. My parents went in business for themselves when I was 8 years old. We were so proud. But all I saw and witnessed was work, sleep, eat. That's what adults do. Work, sleep, eat. The conversations around our meals was how to get more business and how to get paid for the work my father had done. So ask yourself, what was the conversations around your family meals? Complaining, arguing, uplifting, maybe silence. Supportive, inspiring, or hopefully telling each other what you really appreciated about each other rather than complaining. At 17, I had not met another couple, married couple, that weren't caught in the same routine my family was: work, sleep, eat. There wasn't one couple that I envied that looked like they were greatly in love and best of friends even after years of marriage. I didn't see that. So at 17, I got married because both our families insisted that it was good to get married before you're 20 years old. And their saying was, two salaries are better than one. Made sense to me. I didn't marry my best friend. You can write this down. I didn't marry my best friend. I didn't marry my soulmate. That was foreign to me. I married for survival, to have my life easier. At least that's what I thought. I had no training in married life and no mentors. My husband and his brothers competed in material stuff, new cars, boats, parties. So we had the greatest and best of everything. But 15 years of married life, our table conversations were the same as my parents. We shared about our work, and that was all there was. It was a very empty conversation. I divorced that man after 15 years, and I moved to my friends in another state. The grass is always greener on the other side, right? This is what we hope for, man. I'm just going to turn my life around. Life's going to be easier, more fun, bigger city, and I'm going to have friends that love me. So I got a job immediately when I moved in a major corporate career. I worked 12, 14 hours a day. And eventually I could see the pattern, but I didn't know how to solve it. That I was caught up in this work, sleep, eat. I felt like I was being used in the corporate world. I was brilliant, but I felt empty. Surely there has to be more, I said to myself, much more than this routine, feeling so exhausted at the end of the day. So somewhere between 30 and 35 years old, I dreamed of going in the mission field, but there was no research back then when I was thinking this. But I noticed I was good at training employees, forming teams that respected each other. We could get the job done. My rule was no gossip. If you have something to say about another, say it to their face, not behind their back. Be authentic was my rule. Make a difference in other people's lives really made me happy. And I wanted my team to also make a difference in each other's lives. So the mission field felt more fulfilling than serving the big corporation because they only serve themselves, right? So next, I started dating a man who had been studying to become a minister. I thought maybe this is where God is calling me, my chance to serve, my opportunity to be in ministry together with this person who has a dream also of ministry. Was my made-up story. Have you ever made up stories about what you think it's going to be like? And then later on you go, that wasn't quite it. All right. So I noticed I married not my best friend, not my soulmate, but we worked, sleep, and eat, right? That's what we did. He was jealous of my corporate success. So somehow, the way he was jealous, he would make sure that I couldn't say something right, do something right. And in the meantime, my health fell apart during that time. But one day was one day when I should have snapped and said, I can't have this man in my life. We had two brand new little puppies. They were out playing in the yard. And then eventually they got up to the steps where the front door was. And my husband was having a bad day, is what I said. And so he went outside, and because they were crying, he kicked them like footballs and left them out in the yard. I took those two puppies and I made excuses to them. I said, he's just having a bad day. I'll take care of you. Eventually, we had two churches. He could quote scripture frontwards and backwards, but he couldn't live it. He was not living by example. That's what I wanted to live. Maybe you've met people like this that say one thing, but they do another thing, or they tell you how to live your life, but they're not living it. But eventually, when he physically and emotionally abused me, I got traumatized. I had just taken so much of his whatever that I was ashamed to ask for help. After all, he's a minister. Who's going to believe me? And there we were, work, sleep, eat, empty as strangers in the same house. Have you ever felt that way? Maybe a stranger with a family member? So I got a divorce, but what I found was the shame of ever divorcing a minister was like, oh my God, how can you ever? This man of faith, right? But I did. And looking back, I'm proud that I did. No more abuse for any of us. Tough lessons all along that I didn't know myself. I didn't know myself. I followed in the steps of others, of what it felt like, right? But I didn't know how to trust my own intuition. So I waited 4 years and then I married again. But in that 4 years, I got in recovery, starting to learn about myself. We had a big wedding, big family, but the same pattern. I married a man, work hard, beautiful man, sleep, eat. When I asked if we could go into marriage counseling, he was like, maybe a year from now when I get caught up on my work. Well, how does that feel for a woman, right? But it could be either way, too. You might be a man listening to this and going, yeah, no, this is the pattern. So now I could see the pattern. This is my third marriage. And I'm like, I can see the pattern. I can see my own pattern. So we got divorced because we had nothing in common. But here's what I want you to do. There's patterns in our life that just keep repeating themselves. And you're kind of blindsided, like I was, of what is the pattern and how did I fall into this again? So I made a chart. I took all the characteristics of my father, beautiful man, hardworking, provided for our family, but it was work, sleep, eat, right? Nothing in common, nothing about how you feel today, and pretend to be happy. But my father was not my best friend. He was always working. He really didn't know me, and I sure didn't know him. All right, so then you take my other 3 husbands, and you make a chart of them. Very different backgrounds, right? Work, sleep, eat. Good men. Nothing in common as far as our feelings. What are you feeling today? And what does that feel like when you're ignored? And what does it feel like to eat every meal almost and just talk about work or what's going on in the world, but nothing personal, right? So here's the pattern. My father and my 3 husbands were not spiritually or emotionally connected to me to be in a conversation with me. And it left me always on the surface of being able to fit into their conversation, but never express what I was feeling in life and what I felt was important. I'm Georgie Holbrook. More about my services you can link below. Click the link below. So tough lessons made me stronger. I don't know about you, but tough lessons make us stronger. And I awakened spiritually to know that I want to be authentic. I want to be able to be calm inside and be true to myself and speak my truth and love myself. I learned how to trust my intuition, and I want you to learn how to trust your intuition. So here's how you do it. You want to live by example, right? You want to live by example. You want to be around people that in our conversations are uplifting, inspiring, energizing, that they have a mission in life. They've been in recovery so that they know what they want. They want to heal whatever their addictions are or whatever their patterns are. You want to be around those people. And you might want to write this down, that we share our innermost thoughts and feelings safely so that there's not these people that are talking behind our back, right? We want to share our commonalities, our mission in life to make a difference in the world, even in a small way of really representing being authentic. So when we're authentic, we're healthy and happy. Now, this person that inspires me is my best friend. That's the kind of person that I could have married and that you can marry also by just noticing, right? But the red flags are that when you meet up with somebody and the language is around blaming others, gossip, they have no mission in life, but they're not in recovery. Recovery meaning they're not interested in improving themselves, only caught up in blaming others. But when I'm with them, here's the key. How do I feel after I leave that conversation? Do I feel moody, bored, angry, agitated, exhausted? Oh, I just wasted my time. And I can't wait to leave. And I feel low energy. But when I first met them, my energy was really high. I felt good. And all of a sudden now, I just don't feel good. That's a sign that your intuition, your God-given intuition, that is 100% accurate, is trying to lead you. See, I was caught up in those red flags before. And when I started healing that and walking away from it and having boundaries around it, then all of a sudden I started discovering myself and trusting my own intuition and noticing that when I'm with like-minded people, I feel great. I feel connected. I feel like family, right? Family of choice. So I'm Georgie Holbrook. I'm a holistic educator, teaching nature's way to enjoy our lives, live our passion, stay healthy. Nature by design, see, this is my belief, this is what I teach, teaches us to learn from our spirit and trust life. To be healthy and happy is like twins. They go together. We weren't meant to be in life miserable because it's going to make us sick. So, information about my services, click the link below. I will get back with you very soon. Thanks for sharing this video. You know, together we can start avoiding tough lessons, trust our intuition, and say that you have to make a decision about something. We can wait 24 hours and just listen to ourselves before making that hasty decision, right? Never force yourself to make a fast decision. It usually doesn't turn out very well. That's been my decision. Click the link below. And from my heart to yours, I just send you love and inspiration and prayers, and know that together we can make a difference in this world just by taking care of ourselves and listening to the great spirit that beats our heart, puts air in our lungs, orchestrates every cell in our body, is a very wise intelligence. So, from my heart to yours, take care. See you soon. Thank you.